Good evening, everyone. My name is Evangela, and I'm reporting out for small group number 2. And my group mates are Luke, Monique, and Coy. Since the last time that we reported out as a group, Luke reported to you. And since then, we've had just a couple of changes. The topics that we initially were interested in and wanted to study, investigate, are still the same topics, but there has been a change in the data sets that we were going to be using. Initially, Coy, Monique, and Luke were highly interested in the beginning post-secondary students longitudinal study. This study surveys cohorts of first-time beginning students at 3 points in their career. So at the end of the first year, and 3 and 6 years after first starting in post-secondary education. And so at first that seemed like a really good data set to use. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with it, but sometimes I think what probably happens is that when they really started to look at the education longitudinal study of 2002, the data may have been a little bit richer and is really going to allow them to answer the questions. Their research questions. So the education longitudinal study of 2002 is the data set that Monique, Coy, and Luke will be using. Their topics are, they haven't changed. So Luke is still pursuing the topic of maximum return on individuals. In looking at the one concern that he has is once he imported the data set into SPSS, which I think is nice because I don't think I'm allowed to actually import mine. So go Luke. So when he actually imported it, he had a couple of concerns. One is that making sure that he did not lose the information, so it imported correctly and there was no loss of data. The second issue that he was concerned with was that when he actually did run some tests, that the numbers, particularly for GPA, were a little bit, they were off by quite a bit. And so he's got to investigate this now, and I think he said he will maybe have to look at how things are coded. I'm wondering, by looking at the numbers themselves, are these numbers looking more closely towards quality points? For example, and when looking at a 3-credit course, 9 is usually the quality points for, I think, a B. So maybe that's something you can look into, Luke. Coy, who is also using the same data set, will be looking into first-generation students and their access to college, specifically Asian students. But he was actually quite pleasantly surprised that a lot of the information that he is looking for, the types of questions he wants to ask, are actually a part of this data set. So that's good news. And Monique is looking at undecided community college students and really looking at how they choose their college major. A new development on her end is that she's also interested in background characteristics, expectations for the future, and post-secondary enrollment to find out if there's a relationship between undecidedness. I'm the lone wolf, and I'd like to say publicly thanks to my group. They were trying to make sure that I was okay with not being a part of using the other data set, and I am, but I really do appreciate that. My topic is a faculty of color, so looking at tenure and promotion of faculty of color in higher education. If I can look specifically at community colleges, I will. Sometimes that can be a little bit difficult because it may not be there, but I'll see what happens. If not, I'll look at it as higher education in general, but community college is definitely the focus. I'll be using the National Study of Post-Secondary Faculty, and this study was from 2004. My thing so far is I've had, similar to Luke, it's an SBS issue, but I was hoping that I could actually import the data set in, but it doesn't appear to be. One thing I've noticed is that some of these, the license are restricted, and so you have to have, either you have to ask for permission. Mine is not available. So it looks like I'm going to have to be working in Power Stats, and I will do that. It's not that Power Stats isn't sufficient. It's just that I'm more comfortable using SPSS and feel like I would be able to better manipulate the variables in the program, but it'll all work out. So there you have it. So those are the topics, our data sets, and right now some of our concerns or issues with this particular project. So we look forward to hearing from you what you're working on, what you're excited about, or what may be some things that you may be a little apprehensive of. And so thank you for watching our video, and we'll see you on the discussion board.